Ladies and gentlemen, do I have a... Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here, over here. I'm on another place that you expect. Welcome here in the Evoluon, a famous building. I told some of you this afternoon about the history of this building. We're still proud of it. Well, it's a pity that it's not the future of technology here anymore, what is exhibited, but still it's a nice building. It's a pleasure for us as the municipality of Eindhoven to have you here in our city. On behalf of the municipality of Veldhoven and Helmond as well. Of course, a nice greet to our friends from the Eurocities. We really appreciate you are here. We met each other in New York on that famous, for us, famous day, well, it was the day before, but on the famous day of the 3rd of June in New York, where we received the worldwide award to be the most intelligent community of the world. You have seen a preview this afternoon, some of you, of the Dutch Design Week. Well, it will be a gorgeous week this next, well, it's not a week, it's 10 days. And we really enjoyed it. All the people from Eindhoven, but from the Netherlands as well. I don't know if you're familiar with the fact, but there are two huge design events in Europe. One is Salone di Mobile in Milano. It's in springtime, and then this one, and these two are the most important events, design events you can find in Europe. And that was not a normal case. It only exists 10 years. And it's now, it has been enlarged. It's now over more than 60 places in our city where you can find exhibitions or working shops or all kind of things, meetings from people who are proud to show what they are doing with design. Well, we are here together because of the fact that our region, was named to be the most intelligent community in the year 2011. And I'm very glad to have you here, Louis Zacharilla. He is one of the founder of the ICF, the Intelligent Community Forum. Well, more than 10 years ago, isn't it? 11 years, I presume. Yeah. The first intelligent community in the world was New York, wasn't it? Yeah. We are the 11th one. And in between, you see cities like Seoul, Taipei, Stockholm. Well, you can name them Tokyo and Eindhoven. And that's great. And I can tell you, Lou, that well, you will see us again, because I got something here, and I'm very proud to be the most intelligent community, but I'm more proud on this, even. This, you don't know what this is. This is a very important award. The kids over there, sitting over there, they call themselves the next generation. And they are working with technology. They are now between 10 and 14, something like that. Is that correct? Years old? What's your age? 16. You may still be in the group? No, okay. That's a pity. But, well, they do great jobs, but they did one thing, and that's very special, and I want to explain that to you. I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that when you get a heart attack, then you have to cool your brains immediately. You think you have to repair your heart, but you have to cool your brains, because there will be damage in your brains. So what they figured out is that they made how can you cool it? Then you have the veins over here. And they figured out that there is a cooler device in a PC. You can take it out. And then they did it in a brace. Well, I don't know how they exactly did it, but they did it in a brace. And then you do it around your neck, immediately after your heart attack. And I don't know exactly the figures, but it's something of 60% less damage in your brains because of using of this brace. And then they brought it to St. Louis. It's St. Louis. It's in St. Louis in the United States, where the Worldwide Lego League was held, and they won this award. A great hand for these guys. And you must have been, it was in May, must have been as nervous as I have been on June the 3rd. And Louis said it at that time, I was really nervous, and it never happens with me, but I know now the difference between winning silver and gold on the Olympic Games. We won two times silver or bronze, and now it was gold, and that's a real difference. And I could feel it, because there was a forecast. On the morning of the 3rd of June, I was in a hotel in Times Square, Hilton Times Square, and I opened my door, and on the doorstep I found the USA Today. And on the front page, you saw Barack Obama looking through a microscope. And in the undertitle there was, Barack Obama, President of the United States, is looking through an FEI. Made here. Here he is, the CEO of FEI here in Eindhoven. Yeah, it's you. No, it's not you. He isn't here. No, okay, well, next time. Sorry, couldn't bring him in. But it is here. It's 4 miles from here. And he was looking through that microscope to, well, I don't know exactly what, but you can see the most smallest things in the world. And it's an equipment very important for medical care and that kind of things. Well, so that was a forecast that I found this USA Today in that morning. And then when we were there in the Steiner Studios in New York, where Sex and the City was taken, the movie, and as well as Spider-Man. Well, and then at that time, these guys, Louis was going to pronounce it, but I didn't know what would go to happen. And then John took out a bulb, a light bulb, and said, "It's Eindhoven." And I could feel it on my back. I was really excited, because being the most intelligent community in the world is something we really want it to be. But that's not the most important thing I figured out over there. In the last 3 years, Lou, that I've been there, well, we won one prize, but we found so many friends. And that is, I think, the most important thing. We met people from Waterloo, from Stockholm, from all the places all around the world. And we are looking to the same things. We are trying to improve the world a little bit better, to make it better with technology. And I told this afternoon that technology will not be enough. We have to do social innovation as well. But without new technology, without new innovations, we will not be able to make this world better when we regard to food, the food problem in the world, food security, water management, health, mobility. That are problems, aging, you can find all over the world. I was 2 weeks ago in China, and the aging problem in China is as deep as it is here. And even in Taiwan, it's a tremendous problem what they are facing over there. How can you give care? And how will it be affordable to do so? For people who get older, the amount of people will be increased, but their ages will be, they will be 90, 95. And how can you organize that? That's the question. And that's a question we not only face here in Eindhoven, we will see it all over the world. And that's great what you did 11 years ago, to organize all these kind of top technological regions together, bring them in, and then, let them know from each other how they are working. We had a bad period, I told you several times before. And the last time when we were there on the 3rd of June, the Minister of Finland told us about the problems in Finland, in Nokia, Helsinki. And she said, what you did in the last 10 years, not the price, what you did in the last 10 years, how you organized yourself with your triple helix, your open innovation structure, and that kind of things, that's an example for us to have confidence in the future. We can do it as well. And that is the real spirit, so that we can help each other to go through deep valleys and get up again. Well, I'm very proud that we won this award, and well, these are modest people. These are all modest people. I try to be not, because I want to tell everybody that I'm proud, and there is a reason for that. And well, what we had was 1.5, 2 OEMers, original equipment manufacturers, was Duff and Phillips in the 90s. Now we got 7. And that's great. With all these companies, all these suppliers, ASML is not one company, it's 330 companies working together to get the best machine ever made in the world. And it's not my word. They told me in Taipei that the machines of ASML are the most complicated machines they ever made. Do you know that the machines are going like that? And do you know that inside it's going on a precision of nanos? That's incredible. That's incredible to make such a machine. And they can make it here. And so we can help each other to use technology for mutual benefit. Well, this is an exciting evening because you are going to announce the new 21. I don't know who will be there, but I'm rather sure. Well, I told you I've been in the last couple of weeks. I've been in Taipei, for example, and I've seen what they are doing over there. Well, I really think that they are in the top. You are from Taipei? Okay. Well, good chance. Okay. Sorry? 9
people from Taiwan.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I really do not know anything, but I can feel it. I can feel it. And you are doing great things, not only on technology, but great Mayor Au, he's doing a great thing on design as well. He's going to run for the World Design Capital, and that's great. And we are here, we are now having our World Design, well, not our World Design Capital, but the second place. We are doing now the Dutch Design Week, in which I think we express that the combination of technology, manufacturing, research and development, and design is bringing us all together a new world, a great world with great challenges and opportunity. Let's take them. And I really would like to invite you to come this night over to the Stripe S, where the official opening will be, well, it will be past at 8 o'clock, but when you finish your dinner, you're welcome over there and see what these guys and girls are all doing over there. Well, it's, and then I got something, yeah. Lou, I got a tie for you. I thought I do 2, because you're not familiar with the fact, but Lou is always, what I told you, is always making the announcement who will be the next world most intelligent community, and he is wearing a tie of the city winning. The year before, otherwise, well, it wouldn't be a secret. So I thought I'd give you 2, because you can maybe use 1 in the future as well. But I start with 1. Okay, thank you, Lou. Okay, thank you. Please. No. And I want to bring out a toast on friendship and prosperity. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome also by me. I have to excuse Mr. Brian Gijselaars, Mayor of Eindhoven, because he has to do the opening of the Dutch Design Week at 8 o'clock at the Stripe building. So that's why I have the honor to host you through the night and guide you through this night. And my first presentation is some talent, young talent, not the young talent from the Lego Awards, but a musical talent. She's already performed at the TEDx here at the Brainport at the high-tech campus in May, and we had our first TEDx presentation in May at the high-tech campus, and all over the world they saw the clips of 20 minutes. You know the TEDx procedure, 20 minutes of all the information you have about a technical procedure or about management theory or whatever, and that's what it was at the high-tech campus in May. And she performed there as a musician. She now is going to perform for us. She's very young. I have to speak for a little. I could do it also in Veldhoven's dialect, but the people said you have to do it in English. So 17 years old. 16. "16 years old. She's played piano, and now she's playing guitar. Her mother owns a Latin music radio station. That's true? Oh, luckily. She's busy with school, she's busy with sports, and she has her whole heart in music. She puts in music all the things in life that she has. It's her own therapy to handle the good and bad things in life. And that's why she's going to perform here tonight for us, Lisa van Ness.
Time has come for giving in. Every time I try to breathe, I feel suffocated. I'm on my knees, 'cause I feel cool and dark run through my veins. I shiver when I heard her call my name. She burns like summer sun. I know she's the only one I want, even when she's gone away. 'Cause I feel the heat on my skin and my head starts spinning. Too much is never enough. She burns like summer sun for me. No, I'm holding on, hoping that time has come for giving in. This was not supposed to keep me warm, take away my pain, help me forget it all. 'Cause I feel cool and dark run through my veins. Shiver when I heard her call my name. She burns like summer sun. I know she's the only one I want, even when she's gone away. Oh, I felt the heat in my skin and my head starts spinning. Too much is never enough. She burns like summer sun for me. Oh, oh. Yeah, she burns. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Time has come, I'm counting down. Hold my breath and I let it out. This was not to be taken from me. She burns like summer sun. Oh, oh no. She burns like summer sun. Oh no. She burns like summer sun. Singing it out loud. She burns like summer sun for me.
Thank you, everyone, for inviting me here. My name is Louis Zacharilla. I'm the co-founder of the Intelligent Community Forum. I would very much, first of all, like to thank the organizers of this event for putting together what is really a marvelous, innovative festival. I've learned more at dinner conversation tonight than I've learned in the last 6 months in New York. So thank you. And I wanted to thank Mayor Van Geisel, who left, not because he wanted to open Dutch Week, but he would get nervous again listening to the 21. And he doesn't have to, because he doesn't have to worry anymore. Once you're named an Intelligent Community of the Year, you are retired. And you become a mentor to the other communities in the world. So I also wanted to acknowledge Mayor Mikkers, my friend, for having me here and just making me feel very, very comfortable. So thank you very much. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our movement, about the Intelligent Community Forum. before I go and announce our Smart21. There we go. The Intelligent Community Forum really has one mission. And Lisa, where are you? Who's saying? You identified it for us when you spoke about your community. I really was very emotional listening to that because I had the same experience when I started this work. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think I could make my community better for people like you, and that's really what we try to do around the world for you and the next gen group. This work is for you. I try to energize communities for the 21st century because I don't want any young person with talent like you and you and you and you and the 16-year-old there to think that they don't have a place where they can be creative, where they can share in their community, and where they can do the types of things they need to do to be a fully realized human being. So very simply, what we do here is something my grandfather said long ago, and those are the words you see beneath the painting that my cousin did, which is the signature painting for the ICF. My grandfather always used to say, non ci posto migliore pia della mia casa. We're in Holland, so you don't know Italian. I can see that. But what it means is, there's no place like home. And that is what this is all about. And there is no place like this home for you and for me. This is a very unique place. And I wanted to make my first remarks, those of congratulations to the people of Eindhoven for their work. So please applaud yourselves. I know you're modest. I'm not going to talk in detail too much about what we do because it would bore you. It's getting late, and I don't want to stand between you and your drinks. But we are in a singularly unique moment in human history. For the first time in human history, so far as we can tell, and we ask a lot of intelligent people, anthropologists and leaders and writers who are part of our movement, for the first time in the history of humanity, two things are occurring at the same time and are possible. People can live anywhere they want today, whether it be a remote part of Brazil, a marvelous city in Holland, where I live in New York State, the regions of Alaska, the tribes of Alaska. It doesn't matter, because at the same time you can also be plugged in to the global economy. Those two conditions have never existed before in the history of our species. There's only one thing that's missing, and that's the thing that we try to understand and study, which is you have to connect those two things. So if you're going to live in a place that nobody knows about, but which is a great place to live and you're proud of and you want to make people proud of as well, and you want to be a part of this global economy where your jobs are going to depend on, where your innovations and the hospitals that you sell that thing to are going to be, you know what you need? You need connection. You need broadband connections. You need to have that pipe. Not ships, not railroads, not cars, not trucks. You need all that stuff. But what you really need to be part of the global economy, you need that connection, that broadband connection. And you guys know it because you're online all the time. So stay online. Don't talk to your parents as much. And keep learning that. And if my mother, who's actually back home, she's in the hospital tonight, if she heard that, she'd kill me. So sorry, Mom. But here's what's going on, and here's what's at stake, and this is why Eindhoven has done such a marvelous thing, as has Taipei, and has Stockholm, and has had our other 97 communities that we've designated as intelligent. This picture, and I didn't want to test your geography skills, but this picture is of the Korean Peninsula at night. It was taken by a satellite. I happen to be from the satellite industry. That's my career. And I love what satellites can do. But this one was taken in the dead of night of the Korean Peninsula. Look at this. Look at the south. The great cities of Seoul and Suwon and, Pyongyang. Look at how they're lit up. Look at the energy. Look at the activity. Those are people. Those are human beings realizing themselves in a free system, economically and socially. And then look north of there, to North Korea. What do you see? You see one light there all the way to the left, right? and that's probably a South Korean who's lost. The difference today, where the intelligent community movement is important and where Eindhoven's work is absolutely important is this. We have a choice as communities. We can head toward the light, we can be the South Koreas of the world, and live in light, right? I'm a Catholic, those analogies still work for me, darkness and light, the battles between good and evil. Or you can go and live in darkness, and we know what the consequences of darkness are. We all know the history of when darkness surrounded Europe, when it surrounded other parts of the world. That's what's at stake, and it starts at the community. So you have to get the community right. And we think that we've at least found some ideas for ways to get the community right. So here's what we do. Here's our work. We study the economic and social development of the 21st century community. We study how it can create jobs, make money economically, and we also try to understand how you can evolve your tribe more fully to be an enlightened tribe, a great society, creating all kinds of social capital, which has its own wealth, right? So we study that. And we know that communities are challenged to create prosperity when jobs, investments, and progress depend on advanced communications. So we keep telling people, get the communications part right. And then the way we work, you know, I'm one of the guys who started this stuff. The way we decided to work was this. We said we'll do research, we'll study the good communities and find out why they work. That's why we have an awards program, because we get all this information in and we're able to study it with our partners at New York University and their Polytechnic School. We have events. Mayor Van Geisel talked about the experience in New York. We're doing things like this. We're doing an event at Central European University next week in Budapest. We like to have events. We publish. We have books that we've published. I'm working on another one right now. We have an awards program, which of course this is all about tonight. And then we have something that I like to call emotional transportation. That, to me, that's our primary method. It's kind of that old-fashioned thing that Lisa was doing, that we all do when we go to different places and tell our stories. It's storytelling. The way human beings really connect at the end of the day, the way you build trust in each other, is you tell each other your story. And we try to tell stories of how the great communities became great, and we try to tell the communities that don't think they have hope why the great communities can help them. Telling stories is very powerful, very important, and it's very, very significant in what we do. And I have to say that in 2010, Eindhoven, which was trying to become the Intelligent Community of the Year, failed that year. I don't say they failed. They were actually in our final 7, which is a remarkable achievement. But they asked us for an assessment as to why they didn't make the Intelligent Community of the Year. The reason was they didn't tell their story well. They scored very low on those rankings. We have a very complex ranking system, as Vano and people from Tallinn and Eva knows. It's a very rigorous system, but they scored very poorly compared to the other 6 that year. And I'll tell you something. They went to school on it, as we say in New York. They said, we're going to tell our story to anybody who wants to listen. It's not necessarily in the Dutch nature to brag, as the mayor said, so they didn't brag. They just told the facts. Here's what we got here, here's what we do, and here's why we think we're good. And guess what? On that stage in June in New York, they were named Intelligent Community of the Year. So that's how we work, and that's what we do at the ICF. Now, we think we live not in a global economy, not in a digital economy. I'm not even sure what those things completely mean, but I think we live in a broadband economy, to put it simply. Here's the thing to remember. You guys in Eindhoven, in Stockholm, and Taipei, you live right next door to people in Stratford, Canada, or in Piraí, Brazil, or in Riverside, California. You're not distant from them. They're not other places with strange, exotic people. I mean, I may look exotic, but that's because my nose is big. We are all the same. We're living next door to each other. We're all neighbors. And we're connected by that what? That broadband, right? So we all understand that. And Lisa, you know, I keep picking on you tonight, but in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a community where a young man, it's a very significant arts community. They have the biggest Shakespeare festival in North America. A young man used to sit out in front of the Avon Theater there strumming his guitar, probably as well as you, had his Tim Hortons coffee cup out, and people would throw in coins. He knew he was really good. He knew he could be McCartney quality if he wanted to be. And he was tired of collecting those Canadian coins because they're big and heavy. And so he went home and he figured out how to use Facebook effectively and YouTube. A year later, he had an agent in Atlanta. 2 years later, he was named Artist of the Year by the American Academy of Artists. His name's Justin Bieber. And he was part of a community that was named to the top 7. And by the way, those of you who are in New York, you'll remember this. He sent his mayor, who I was interviewing in our Congress, a text, and he posted it on his Facebook page. He said, "I'm proud of my community because they're an intelligent community." The clicks on Facebook and Twitter were just accelerating like those monster movies when the amoebas just eat the world. And I got a call from one of my staff members, and they said, "Our site has just crashed." And I said, "Well, it's probably not all mayors around the world trying to learn about us. It's probably 12-year-old girls. But that's okay. That's okay, because it shows you the power of the technology." And obviously, he's done well. The other thing is that in this economy, innovation ecosystems are the sustaining food for what we call the new tribe. They used to say in real estate, it's location, location, location. I would say, okay, location, maybe. It's nice to live in Hawaii. It's nice to live in Eindhoven, but it's location, location, innovation. Can you create an ecosystem that is thinking all the time about innovations, about laying a new foundation so that ideas can emerge? I mean, again, I'm sitting at the table here tonight for an hour, and I've already had about 3 new ideas come my way, and they've all been good ones. So that's part of the culture now here, and we hear it in the music, and we hear it in the language, and we see it in the design, and I'm telling you that is going to bode so well for this community going forward. You are going to be the leaders, not only of the intelligent community movement, but in the world. People will continue to take notice. Okay, I think Mayor Van Geisel, when he gave his speech in New York, perhaps said it best. And you can go actually see his acceptance speech. I think it's on our site. It's on YouTube. He said, "We are all in this together. We have started a big wave, and we stand shoulder to shoulder." And he said in those few words what it would take me forever to say. And so I commend him for that. And obviously it's led to good things. This is, I believe, the mayor with the mayor of Taipei a couple of weeks ago, doing things together. They were both named Intelligent Communities of the Year, and now they understand why they have a lot of things in common. So we're happy about that. Okay, let me move on now to the reason that I'm here tonight, and the reason that people from around the world are tuned in to this stream. Our annual awards program. How does it work? How do you become the Intelligent Community of the Year? Well, it begins tonight. The cycle begins tonight. We will name 21 communities, the Smart21. We receive hundreds of submissions worldwide. Our researchers identify communities around the world. They fill out a very extensive profile. It's a 28-page document that tells us about themselves and how they're challenged and how they've overcome challenges and where they want to go. We take that information, and then in a few moments you'll find out who we think the 21 most representative communities in the world are. Again, I'm going to refer to my mother. I was actually supposed to be here last night, but she took ill back in New York, and I had to stay. And she said, "You've got to get there, you've got to do your work, and you've got to name the Smart21, but for God's sake, name one from Italy for a change." She's Italian. We'll see. We have 21, and those 21 will be asked to send more information to us once they're named. And then in January, I will be doing this again in Hawaii. Yes, I'm not stupid. I go to Hawaii in January. I don't dress in dark clothes, though. I'm going to wear your tie when I'm out there in a white shirt. And we will name from this group of 21, 7, and they become our top 7. They are then invited to New York as our stars, and we build a conference or a congress around them for 2.5 days. They are celebrated like the stars that they are. We show them off in New York. Anyone who's ever been there, who has been Smart 21 and then top 7, knows what we think about the top 7 and how we use them to then mine their brains for information for our invited guests. They then move to Steiner Film Studios after more rigorous inspection. And this year on June 8th, one of them will be named Intelligent Community of the Year in the same place where, Spider-Man was filmed, and a lot of other movies as well. Sex in the City was also filmed there, but in that day there's just food in the city, no sex in the city. Although communities have told me it feels like sex sometimes. So that's what happens, and then the Intelligent Community of the Year does exactly what you're doing here. So we're now at the stage, at that point, where I can name this year's Smart21. There are only 5 people who know this information. There's one person here who put this program together, and I wanted to thank all of you guys for keeping quiet, or for her not sharing that, or for Renee not sharing that information, and for organizing what we're going to see shortly. So I am now going to get ready. Oh, remember these guys? Let's give them one more hand. When they put on those red shirts in New York and attacked the stage after they were named, I actually thought there was going to be a police riot, a football riot. I thought the Phillips team was in second place again, and they were upset. I didn't know, but they were in first place. I'm going to now name the World Smart 21, and here we go. Okay. Arlington County, Virginia, United States. Staying in the United States, Austin, Texas. Let's see, we're going, looks like Europe. Barcelona, Spain. Congratulations to the people in Barcelona. Columbus region in Ohio. Where's that star going? Looks like Brazil, Curitiba, they're back again. They were in that list last year. Dakota County, Minnesota, rural community. Very small, very powerful. Good for them. Danville, Virginia, another small rural community doing great things. The United States is looking good this year. First time, Durango, Mexico, the first Mexican community ever to be named a Smart 21 community. Congratulations to Mexico. Frankfurt in the Hesse region, Germany, Federal Republic. Well done. Heraklion, Crete in Greece. Very good to see that. Obviously, there are troubles over there, but not in Heraklion. We're going to move down to Australia to go to Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. New Taipei City, Taiwan. The mayor put me on the spot, but congratulations. Oulu, Finland. Home of Minister Suvi Linden. Congratulations, Oulu. First time for Finland. Prospect, South Australia, Australia. The kangaroos are happy tonight. Quebec City, Quebec, back again on our list. Riverside, California, United States of America. St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Stratford, Ontario, Canada. There goes our website again. Taichung City, Taiwan. 2 Taiwanese communities this year. Congratulations to our friends in Taiwan. Tuxtla Gutierrez, Chiapas, Mexico. 2 Mexican communities. First time. And Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. There they are, the Smart 21 Intelligent Communities of 2012. Congratulations to all of you out there who are watching. Well done. And we'll see you in Hawaii. Thank you also for those graphics. They were wonderful. Let me now just break it down for you in terms of region, in case those of you are interested in such a thing. Here's our America's recipients this year. A very, very good group. We had 10 nations represented this year in this group. We're going to Europe. There was Barcelona, Frankfurt, Heracline, Oulu. Well done, 4 from this part of the world. And then finally, the Asia-Pac region, Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. Again, Australia. New Taipei City, Taichung. So 2 nations, 2 cities. Well done. And congratulations to the new Smart21. They join our alumni of communities around the world. And we now have over 100 as a result of tonight's report. So again, we'll see you in Hawaii. Mahalo, which means thank you in Hawaiian. You can't correct me there. It's not Dutch. And I thank you very much for having me here and allowing me to do this. And again, congratulations to all of those communities. And thank you again, everyone, for your support. Good night.
In the Dutch city of Eindhoven, it isn't difficult to find high-tech company offices. Philips, ASML, TNO, and TUE are famous around the world. But how can it be that just one region in a small country is so smart? We have to take a look inside to find out. This is not a normal medical lab. This is the medical center inside the Technical University. This immense medical robot can be used for real surgery. With this equipment, the surgeon can be much more accurate.
Door de robot te gebruiken krijgen zij weer gevoel, kunnen zij net om een hoekje opereren en hebben ze een ergonomische houding, waardoor ze dus de operatie langer vol kunnen houden en ook moeilijkere operaties ook minimaal invasief uit kunnen voeren.
Such innovations are due to the intensive cooperation between scientific institutions like TNO or TUE and innovative companies in the Eindhoven area.
Cruciale reden is dat wij hier in onze omgeving niet alleen kennis ontwikkelen, die ook toepassen en daar ook een relevantie aan weten te geven voor onze samenleving die overal ter wereld buitengewoon nuttig is.
Dus het is juist dat samenwerken wat ons zo uniek maakt. Daarvoor hebben we ook pas geleden in Zaragoza een grote prijs gewonnen. De prijs van de Eurocities. Waarin wij als voorbeeld Europees wijd gesteld werden. Als het beste voorbeeld van hoe je zou moeten samenwerken om vooruit te komen.
Being such a smart region is partly due to coincidence and fortune. About a century ago, Philips chose this region only because of the cheap workers. At the end of the 20th century, the high-tech sector survived real major challenges.
Mid jaren 90 ging het hier dramatisch slecht. Voor hetzelfde geld was het allemaal weggetrokken. En op dat moment hebben overheid en kennisinstellingen, in het bijzonder de Technische Universiteit en het bedrijfsleven de handen ineen geslagen. En dat heeft uiteindelijk toe geleid tot de organisatie wat wij Brainport noemen, waarin we gezamenlijk een strategie afspreken over hoe we deze regio verder ontwikkelen.
Wat je in de productie hebt zien gebeuren de afgelopen 20 jaar is dat we steeds meer opschuiven van lage toegevoegde waarde naar hogere toegevoegde waarde. We gaan dus ingewikkelde dingen doen. In plaats van de hele simpele dingen die ze elders met goedkope lonen veel beter kunnen doen. En die trend zal nog wel even voortzetten.
The theme of this year's Intelligent Communities election is Health in the Intelligent Community. This kind of equipment shows the intelligence of the Eindhoven area. This is an innovative heart monitor from IMEC Holst Center.
Events don't always happen within that 10-minute recording period that you have at the doctor's office. So if he can give you a device, you can go home for 1 week and maybe something happens during the night or during the day. You have all of that data to look at.
Brown is one of the thousands of expats in Eindhoven. She came here from Australia because she noticed that her job opportunities would be much more abundant.
The Eindhoven region is really at the forefront of the technology, especially in medical devices. So we have better career opportunities here, really going into the research of technologies for biomedical devices.
Ik denk dat wij hier heel veel sterktes hebben waarmee wij ons met de beste in de wereld kunnen meten. En als ik even dicht bij huis blijf, Philips Research staat in de top 5 van meest geciteerde instituten in de wereld. En dat zegt er ook wel iets.
And there is still more to come. Populations in the Western world are aging, so the health sector is growing continuously. Companies and institutions in this region can continue to leverage this opportunity with innovation.
We mogen weer eens een dagje pronken. Eindhoven staat vandaag weer eens helemaal in het teken van de slimste regio ter wereld.
Gasten uit binnen- en buitenland maken vandaag een route door de regio, langs allerlei projecten die laten zien wat Eindhoven nu zo slim maakt.
En het draait daarbij allemaal om samenwerking tussen de Technische Universiteit, de overheid en het bedrijfsleven hier in de regio. Door de zogenaamde open innovatie wordt er heel veel kennis uitgewisseld. En daardoor kan er veel meer technologie ontwikkeld worden dan als ieder het voor zichzelf zou doen. Dit is zo'n plek waar op die manier wordt samengewerkt. Dit is de High-Tech Automotive Campus in Helmond. Hier worden de nieuwe technologieën voor de autosector ontwikkeld. De TU Eindhoven, TNO en ook bedrijven als DAF en VDL die ontwikkelen hier samen nieuwe technologieën. Bijvoorbeeld dit soort high-tech auto's, maar ze bouwen hier ook samen aan de stadsbus van de toekomst, de Filias.
The Filius transport system has been used in Eindhoven for several years already. These are buses, but a little different. They're cooler, more efficient and more sophisticated. The visitors of the Innovation Tour can see how the bus is driving itself.
The vehicle will check where he is, according the barcode in the infrastructure with the magnets. The road is programmed. I always say you start driving manual and you put it on record. You drive your road, you put it back in the beginning, put that play and the vehicle just drives the same road. That's the idea.
Bent u onder de indruk van wat hier allemaal te zien?
Ja, het is heel mooi om te zien hoe je inderdaad met deze bussen kunt rijden. En als je dan naar de chauffeur kijkt, armen over elkaar, de bochten worden netjes genomen, alles gaat veilig. En dat is natuurlijk wel heel belangrijk. Dus het is inderdaad net wat vooraf in de presentatie werd gezegd, net alsof je in een tram zit. Dat je over een rail heen rijdt. Alleen de rail is er niet, het is gewoon een normale vlakke asfaltbaan. Heel apart, heel indrukwekkend.
I think the idea of open innovation is very crucial to the success of a new technology. Actually, we are working very hard in this field in Taiwan as well. So this is why we're here. We're trying to have more communication with your group and to learn something more from you as well.
Gezondheid was een van de belangrijkste onderwerpen voor de verkiezing van de slimste regio. Een voorbeeld hiervan is Sophie, de medische robot van de Technische Universiteit.
Researchers at the Technical University have been working for several years on this operation robot called Sophie.
It's like a torso of a man with arms like a human. And then we manipulate these instruments. And because of the size and the lightweight design and the robust design, we can measure the forces that are executed here on the instrument tip.
Ik vind het waanzinnig. Ik zie allerlei interessante robots. Robots zijn natuurlijk altijd heel erg leuk om naar te kijken. Maar dat ze ook de patiënten echt gaan helpen op den duur. Hè. Want het duurt nog een paar jaar voordat dit... dat is een kijkje in de toekomst eigenlijk. En dat is ook wel heel mooi.
Ik denk dat Sophie zeker onderdeel uitmaakt van het feit dat wij de slimste regio ter wereld zijn. Het gaat namelijk om de technologie die hierin wordt ontwikkeld. En in dit geval specifiek het ontwerp, regeltechniek, aansturing van het systeem, samenwerking met alle bedrijven en iedereen die er meewerkt. En dat is precies wat je in deze regio terugziet. Dus met Philips en de ASML, met de grote bedrijven hier, maar samen ook met de universiteit en met de hogescholen. Samenwerking zorgt ervoor dat we dit mogelijk maken. En Sophie is gewoon een heel goed voorbeeld.
No city will ever say that, yeah, we don't want innovation, but the problem is how to get it started. That is always the big problem. Once you start getting this chain of events and working together, you need this sort of brain pool, brain port, so that several people work together, help get the innovation. Tours like this to open eyes.
Medische snufjes die hebben ze hier ook in het Maxima Medisch Centrum in Veldhoven. Dit ziekenhuis loopt echt voorop op het gebied van het begeleiden van bevallingen. Tijdens de bevalling moet het ongeboren kind natuurlijk goed in de gaten worden gehouden. En daar hebben ze hier een paar mooie technieken voor ontwikkeld.
A plaster, a couple of sensors, a cable and a small device. It looks simple, but it's a world of difference for childbearing women.
Wat wij hebben ontwikkeld is een pleister die gebruikt wordt voor de meting van de weeënactiviteit. En ten opzichte van de bestaande methodes die er zijn in het veld, hebben wij eigenlijk een hele veilige manier gevonden die ook nog eens een keer heel veel informatie aanlevert aan de gynaecoloog. Die comfortabel is voor de vrouw om te dragen en die bovendien in een eerder stadium ingezet zou kunnen worden.
What was the most surprising for you to see here?
Well, I think the most surprising thing was the very young CEO that we met. And it really showed the product. He showed us that you put the human being in a very vulnerable situation in the point of interest, which I think very, very necessary and interesting and helpful.
Had dit nou ook door een van die instellingen zelfstandig ontwikkeld kunnen worden?
Ik denk dat deze ontwikkeling juist tot stand is gekomen door de samenwerking van de verschillende partijen. We praten hier over een kennisinstelling als de Technische Universiteit. We praten over een gespecialiseerd ziekenhuis als het Maxima Medisch Centrum. Er zijn op allebei de plekken verschillende expertises. Nou, die moet je bij elkaar brengen om daar een succesvolle synergie te krijgen.
I especially asked about the model of cooperation they use, and because coming from a city myself, I'm very interested in seeing how does a city, its government and a development agency, as I recognize Brainport, and a practical experience, hands-on thing like a hospital work together, and this was very interesting for me to see. And that's what I'll take back to Vienna.
En ondertussen zijn we aangekomen bij de Living Lab e-health. Hier testen ze hoe oudere mensen langer thuis kunnen wonen.
Elderly people meeting each other. It looks quite normal here in this meeting club. They have a small talk, drink some coffee, but that isn't all. With all kinds of modern technology, they can improve their health. The project manager explains why this is so important for elderly people.
If you're alone, let's say at 75 you lose your partner, you're sitting at home and you get disconnected from society. What we have seen in several cases, they become depressed, they take on pills, their general practitioner is worrying. We have several cases where the people came out of this social isolation.
I think it's an excellent facility. It is so good to see a community area where people can actually come into the community, can move away from the isolation and can learn new skills. And I think especially with the over 65s, it is so important to keep them to be active members of the community. And facilities like this are just essential in that sort of thing.
Superbelangrijk is dat steeds meer toegepast gaat worden. Richting de toekomst is dat van wezenlijk belang. Dus ik vind het wel heel interessant en ik wist ook niet dat er zoveel toepassingsmogelijkheden al waren op dat vlak.
Deze ruimte is slim omdat hier techniek in zit in nauwe samenwerking met ons net Eindhoven. De Live Clinic is daar een exponent van. En we hebben interactieve televisie waar we binnenkort bewegen op afstand samen met body support kunnen gaan starten. Waardoor de senioren wat meer bewegen en real-time direct daarna kunnen meten wat de resultaten daarvan zullen zijn.
Vanavond krijgen we de andere slimme regio's van de wereld te zien. In het Evoluon worden er 21 kanshebbers bekendgemaakt voor de titel Slimste Regio 2012. Wij hoeven niet meer in spanning te zitten, want Eindhoven mag niet meer meedoen.
Well, thanks a lot for all waiting for me. But we are on live stream, so that's why we had to wait, and I had to be quiet. So I couldn't tell jokes about Veldhoven or jokes about Brainport. So I'm sorry for that. As a mayor of Veldhoven, I was very proud last year when I was in New York to be there when the top 7 was nominated, and the Smart Community of 2010 was there, and I know how it is to win silver. This year, Rob van Gijzel was there, and he knew how it felt to win gold. Too bad. Being the most intelligent community is not for free. It demands for responsibility, especially for the public partners in the Triple Helix. If we are so smart, how come we can't solve all the problems our citizens and our entrepreneurs in our region encounter? Of course, this is a demand no government can fulfill. But the church asks we do our utmost best to do what we are supposed to do. Be transparent, explain our policies as good as we can. Don't cover up things if we make mistakes. Learn from the things we do wrong. All this is part of being the smartest. When we were named Most Intelligent Community in June this year, some were surprised, and there were even some who doubted whether it was a serious selection. I can assure you it was. And luckily, there were even more people that felt proud that we were elected in New York as the Smart Community for 2011. It was mentioned often in The Hague and in Brussels. And all this strengthens the way we work together here in Brainport. The universities decided to work together, attracting young people to come and study in this region. Companies are making plans to show the world what the marvelous and complex machines and equipment they make are manufacturing on the base of open innovation. And the Triple Helix partners together are organizing the defense to the next crisis that seems going to hit us next year. I believe we should not hold our intelligence, our smartness for ourselves. We could share it with the whole world. In this way, it may take some time. The whole world becomes an intelligent community as a whole, to the benefit of all the people of the whole world. Because it's my hope that someday a community in Africa will be one of the Smart21. It's my hope. One community already in Latin America is already chosen. That's good. But it's our hope, I think our goal for us all here, that someday, one community in Africa will be the smartest community of the world. I want to thank you all for coming. We have dessert later, but it's not on the live stream. I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank the organization for organizing this day. I want to thank Eurocities for hosting a conference for the last 2 days here in Eindhoven, and I hope you all come back to your second home, the Brainport region. Thanks a lot.